healing the reality of what he did. You know what God did? For instance, in the area of healing, is an upfront deposit. What can I use to give an illustration? Okay, if you have a data, you subscribe for a data, and you have maybe 5 gig, is an upfront payment to be able to get access to the internet. Is that not so? Now, if you have 5 gig in your phone, when you pick your phone, you are bold to enter in, not because you will pay later, but because of what you have paid before. Are we understanding what I'm saying? So when I say that things like healing, things like prosperity are things God has deposited up front, it means he cannot come and withdraw it. He can't take it back. He has deposited it. If you are not using it, it's your business. So it's not in the hand of God again. He did it. Salvation is up front. The only route to be saved is not to fall on the ground and roll and cry. No. Come into my heart. I believe in my heart. Once that belief is born in your heart and you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord, salvation has come to your heart. So when you know God, you see, if I tell you I can't be poor, it's not me trying to believe God to bring, a preacher says the best way to confess it is that I am the rich trying to enter the reality of who I am. You are not the poor trying to be rich. You are already rich because this thing has been deposited. So revelation will give you the knowledge of God, and revelation will strengthen you. Revelation. Look at Acts of Apostles chapter 9 verse 1. Okay, before we go there, I think we'll just round everything up together. Number 2 is encounters. Encounters. Don't joke with encounters. What is encounters? God giving you a personal experience of himself. There are encounters that I've recorded in my life that are the pillars that have built my faith. These are the pillars upon which apart from the script, because there are encounters from the world, but these encounters are pillars upon which there are ones that are beacon, that till I die I can remember it. There are things that will hit me, I will go back to God and say, remember that year, remember 2013, remember in so place, remember that thing you said, remember this experience you gave me. What was the beginning of Jacob's change? An encounter. He encountered an angel. I will not let you go except. It was in that encounter that his story completely changed. Praise God. So number 1 system that will bring about your knowledge of God is revelation. Number 2 of such system is what? Encounters. Now I will show you 6 basic purposes of encounters. For the sake of some persons, because it's almost out of what we are teaching. 6 basic purposes of encounter. Number 1 is to reveal God to men, which is what we are dealing with. If you read Acts of Apostles chapter 9 verse 1, the Bible says, and Saul yet breathing out, threatening and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord, went unto the high priest in verse 2 and desired of him letter to Damascus, to the synagogues, that if he found any of this way, whether they were men or women, he might bring them bound unto Jerusalem. If I find anyone who is following Christ or who is preaching Christ, I'll bind the person. If you read verse 3, and as he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shone round about him a light from heaven. That was an encounter. Remember, this man was thinking he was fighting for God, but he, by every demonstration, was an enemy of the gospel, was an enemy of God. But as he journeyed, came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from heaven. Let's see the next verse. And he fell to the earth and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? The next verse. And he said, who art thou, Lord? Because that encounter actually gave a revelation in the heart of Paul. How can you call him Lord? It was a revelation. So the first opening of Paul's mouth was to call Jesus Lord. He said, I am Jesus, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the prick. The next verse. And he trembled and astonished said, Lord, what wilt thou have me do? Because there is a complete change now. By this encounter, I know I wasn't doing the right thing. What wilt thou have me do? And he says, and the Lord said unto him, arise, go into the city, and it shall be told thee what you must do. So the first principle of the first basic purpose of encounter is to enable you to know God. To enable you to know God. Number two is to bring a change of nature. A change of nature. Encounters come to give you change of nature. In 2 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 18, but we all with open face beholding as in a glass, we are changed. Okay, beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord, are changed into the same image from glory to glory, even as by the Spirit of the Lord. So as we behold him, there is a change, there is a transformation. When what's the name? Moses stayed with the Lord for 40 days and 40 nights on the mountain. By the time he was coming back, what happened? His face was glittering. He was not even aware. His face was glittering. So encounter comes to bring a transformation. When there's an encounter you will have, you will notice that the struggles you have will suddenly change. There's an encounter you will have. Some of your weaknesses will suddenly become your strength. These are things that normally, if they bring alcohol, you can't say no to it. But all of a sudden, you perceive it. You are asking yourself, it's as if you want to die. Just by perceiving the smell of it. By perceiving the smell of cigarette, the same cigarette you were enjoying all your life, you want to run out. What suddenly happened? A change of nature. A change of nature. A change of nature. In Genesis chapter 32 verse 24, and Jacob was left alone, and there rested a man with him, and in that wrestling he was changed. This man met this angel, and by the time he was living there, he was a leaping Jacob. He was a leaping Jacob. So there was a transformation. If you claim to have an encounter, you need to show us the transformation that happened by that encounter. Because basically, encounters come to show you God. Basically, encounters come as well to bring total transformation to your heart. People like us, who were not public people. I have shared this severally. When I was in school, in secondary school to be precise, I bribed my way throughout the school not to be able to appear in the public, to do debate. If my name appear, I'm running, looking for who will take my food. Please take my knife food, remove my name. Take my knife, because I don't know how to stand before people. What will I say? Where will I start to say? What suddenly happened to us? What suddenly